Alright, there have been people asking about my menus. You missed the meal plans and the menu plans. And so I am going to share with you a meal that I'm working on. I've never made this before. I'm totally making it up on the fly. If it's not good, I won't share this video. So if I'm sharing it, it tasted alright, and I'll let you know at the end anything that I would change about it. One thing that I would change up front is if I was making this, I would add some roasted garlic or garlic powder to the end product, but you're not going to see that anywhere here because I can't eat garlic. So I'll go ahead and show you what we've got. Start with some of your favorite pasta. I have angel hair whole wheat pasta. You can use whatever you would like. You'll need salt, oil of your choice. I use olive oil. You can use something else if you'd like. Brewer's yeast, nutritional yeast for Flakes, which is really good, especially if you're breastfeeding, which I know that, I don't remember who, I'm sorry, I'm terrible, I'll go back and look who it was, but someone had left a comment that they've got dietary restrictions as well for breastfeeding, but Brewer's yeast is fantastic for breastfeeding. You'll want some spinach. You can use fresh or frozen. You'll want basil. If you have fresh basil, totally use that. It'll be way better. But if you don't, you can use dried basil, that's fine. And some oregano. And 1 to 2 fresh tomatoes. I'm going to show you my proportions. The proportions can change. This is one of those recipes that nothing has to be exact at all. And I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. But to start with, you need to cook your pasta. I've got my water boiling, well, getting ready to boil over here. And I'll show you what happens next. You'll also want to, while your water's boiling, go ahead and cut your tomato or your tomatoes. So I'll see you guys in just a minute. Alright, so I have chopped my tomatoes and they are in the pan, and you just want to coat them with oil, not a lot of oil, but you do want more than you would use just to fry something because that's actually part of what you're going to want on your pasta. So I've added a pinch of salt, and now I'm going to add some basil. I think I'm going to end up with about a tablespoon, here, let me take this off, about a tablespoon of dried basil. I'm going to look and see. But if you're using fresh, you don't need as much. Maybe like, I don't know, somewhere between 6 to 8 leaves maybe. And that might even be too much for your taste, but you won't need as much, and you'll chop up the leaves. But you want a lot of basil. I think a tablespoon is going to be too much. Maybe half a tablespoon of basil. You want it coated really well. Let me show you how much it's coated, because this will disperse quite a bit. Let's see, you want about half a tablespoon. And then maybe about a teaspoon of oregano. You don't want as much. You might even just want half a teaspoon of oregano. That's probably better. Half a teaspoon. Because you just want that flavor there to just kind of get it going. And so then what you're going to do while your pasta's cooking is you're going to have this on medium-low. And you're just going to let it kind of cook, get the juices all out. And just let that sit here while your pasta's cooking. I had forgotten to add the spinach earlier, so I just added spinach. Oops, sorry, finger. And I added about the same, maybe a little bit more spinach than I had tomatoes. You do not have to add as much spinach. I really like spinach, so for me, spinach is going to be the main ingredient here. But if you prefer less spinach, you can add it. Just remember that if you're using fresh spinach, which is better, but I didn't have any on hand. I had a lot of frozen though. So, but if you're using fresh spinach, it shrinks down a lot. So you'll use way more than you think you need to. And yeah, so you just keep letting this cook. I just turned it up a little bit to medium. And my pasta's cooking, and this is cooking. And I'll get back with you soon. Alright, my pasta is cooked. I cooked a pound of pasta. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up with enough topping for a pound, but we'll see, and I'll tell you at the end how it all worked out. But I'm going to add just enough oil to coat my pasta. I want it to have something for the brewer's yeast to stick to, and I think it's going to end up being just under a 1/4 cup of oil. or it might end up being about 1/4 cup of oil. So for a pound of pasta, that's how much oil you'll need just to coat it. You don't want it like swimming in oil. You just want to coat it. So I'm going to do that, and then I will show you what to do next. Okay, so I just mixed in my tomato, spinach, olive oil, basil, oregano mixture. And definitely, I think the amount that we just made would be perfect for about 1/2 pound of pasta. So I will put in the description box, I'll double everything to go with a pound, since that's how much a package of pasta makes, and then you can save some for lunches and stuff. I just added a little more basil though. But the final thing that I'm going to do is I am going to add, and this is why we coated it with oil, I'm going to add Brewer's yeast. Now Brewer's yeast is going to work kind of like a Parmesan cheese. Now don't expect it to taste like Parmesan cheese, but it's going to have a similar effect with the pasta. So my guess is you'll end up with a good 1.5 to 2 tablespoons based on taste. So I'm going to get that mixed up, tell you how much I used, and then Arlen and I will eat the food and tell you how it tastes. We're eating this with Brussels sprouts tonight, and again, if I had made more tomatoes and spinach for here, that would make it more balanced and a really good complete meal with all of that. You could have garlic bread too if you wanted. If you can't have garlic bread, you could just have bread with oil and salt, which isn't near as exciting, but so let me mix this up and I'll get back to you. Okay, so we have tasted it, and the conclusion is that you will definitely probably want to add more salt to taste, obviously, however much. And I think doubling the tomato, spinach mixture is definitely, that will be about perfect. And I would also add maybe another 1/2 tablespoon to full tablespoon of Brewer's yeast, and I think it tastes pretty good. If you are able to eat these things and want to take just a little bit more time, it would be really good if you chopped up some mushrooms and about 1/2 an onion to a full onion, if it's small, full onion, and a pepper and some roasted garlic, and you can sauté that. Excuse my son, he's very demanding at mealtime. But you can sauté all of that and then add that to the mix too, and that would be super yummy. So there is a supper. There's our Brussels sprouts with it. And like I said, I'll type up all of the ingredients properly below, and I hope that you enjoy this, and I'll think of a name for it too. So have a good day. Okay. Hi guys, this is our meal for this evening. It looks kind of funny, but it's really super good. It's biscuits with a garbanzo potato stew with spinach in it and tomatoes and mushrooms, and it's super yummy. So I didn't do a video on the process of making it because I was running late trying to get this made, but I will definitely put the recipe below, and it is super yummy. So yeah.